These are the 20 most dangerous fouls in football history. And for Ismael Kone, just standing in front of a frustrated opponent turned out to be the worst mistake of his life. During a match between Canada and Qatar at the 2026 World Cup, a reckless tackle by Mbappe resulted in a horrifying injury for midfielder Ismael Kone.
17th start in 32 games under Jesse Marsh. Kone is fouled.
Kone's leg was literally facing the other direction, prompting emergency surgery. Mbappe himself was sent off and banned for 5 games. He showed incredible sportsmanship by visiting Kone in the hospital to apologize. And just days after his injury, Kone was spotted celebrating with his teammates after they defeated South Africa. Bro might be the first person to be injected with Compound V. Speaking of a doctor's appointment, during a match between Austria and France, Kylian Mbappe tried to pull off a move he physically wasn't capable of. And instead of a goal, Danso booked him an appointment with the plastic surgeon.
Griezmann, c'est un ballon déposé sur la tête de Saliba qui a heurté ensuite le crâne de Danso, me semble-t-il. Ouais, c'est Kylian.
C'est Kylian il s'est fait mal alors qu'il était monté tête. Lui qui n'est pas un spécialiste, regardez comme il va jouer ce ballon parfaitement. Mais ensuite ça...
But after leaving for the hospital, Mbappe asked fans for ideas on a mask. And whoever gave him the idea to do this should honestly be sent to jail.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Are you serious right
But
now?
while Mbappe left with a broken nose, the next player left with a mouth full of blood.
The nature of the contact, here's that pass.
With Barcelona leading 2-0 against Atletico Madrid, Fermine Lopez went in for the kill from a Yamal cross, only to face one of the nastiest tackles you'll ever see.
Lengthy VAR review has given
Early into the ball. Denied there by Musso. And that was onside. What a chance for Fermine Lopez on the back post. The nature of the contact, here's that pass.
The blood that came out of his mouth was simply scary. But despite this, he still got up and finished the game like a man. As for the hideous mask he got afterwards, let's just say Mbappe inspired his choice. But while Fermine was accidentally wiped out, the next player literally did the unthinkable.
Después de que haya sido expulsado, es que le ha pegado un puñetazo.
During a heated relegation 6-pointer between Zaragoza and Huesca, Esteban Andrada approached the ref to complain about something. But when Huesca's captain confronted him, he lost it.
Pues le faltaba al Real Zaragoza, que es perder a Tasende. Le está diciendo el árbitro a Andrada que se marche. Bueno, y Andrada ahora le ha dado un golpe a Pulido. Bueno, se está enredando todo tremendo, tremendo. Va a expulsar.
But just when you thought the worst had happened, Andrada did this.
Espera. No, por Dios. No, por Dios. No, esto no, No, por Dios. No, por Dios. No,
Throwing a haymaker in a professional football match is something I thought I'd never see. But while that punch didn't do much damage, the next defender wanted to end a GOAT's career. We all know matches between South American nations are crazy. Everyone seems overly aggressive and hyper. And it was during one of these qualifiers that Messi suffered one of the worst tackles you'll ever see. The defender had zero intention of touching the ball. He aimed for Messi's leg like an assassin paid to eliminate a target.
Allez, merci beaucoup. Annulez le jaune, je pense. Annulé, voilà. Allez, merci. Luis Adrian Martinez, il a passé même pas 10 minutes sur le terrain.
But while Messi walked away from that one, the next tackle was so bad that it wouldn't be allowed in the UFC. Ajax versus Bayern Munich. Tagliafico is just trying to control the ball, and then Müller comes in flying like a bat out of hell. But at least Tagliafico kept all his teeth, which is more than I can say for the guy at number 14. PSV versus AZ. The boys in red and white are getting humiliated. Mitroglou, the guy who's supposed to score the goals, has been playing poorly all game. But instead of going home empty-handed, he decides to do this.
Duel. Mitroglou, de linker elleboog in het gezicht bij Hatziliakos.
Taking your opponent's actual teeth home as a souvenir is definitely a crime. But hey, at least it wasn't intentional, which cannot be said for what happens next. In the French Cup game between PSG and Brest, a defender named Brassier found Mbappe's half-turn a bit too quick for him, and instead of trying to win the ball back cleanly, he did this. Imagine suffering a season-ending injury from a guy named after something that holds… never mind. But while Brassier at least pretended to go for the ball, the next player didn't even bother pretending. Philip Bardsley had seen enough of Hazard making him look silly, and flew in with absolutely zero intention of getting the ball.
Oh, goodness me, the challenge
doesn't matter where the ball is.
Bardsley's taken him out again. Mourinho is furious. What's the card?
If the ball's off the pitch.
How this wasn't a red card remains one of football's greatest mysteries. But at least Bardsley's tackle was under control. The next one got the cops asking questions. Manchester City versus Portsmouth. A corner is cleared. Ben Thatcher and Mendes both chase the loose ball, but instead of going for the ball, Thatcher does this.
Right, Kone. Yeah, that's got to be on the brink of a red. Because the ball's gone and he's come through late. Yeah, that was a nasty one.
A deliberate elbow to the head, and somehow only a yellow card. But the fans who saw it live knew they needed to do something. The police received multiple complaints and had to formally ask Mendes if he wanted to press criminal charges. When the law gets involved, you know the foul crossed into something far beyond football. But even that couldn't crack our top 10, because coming up, Valverde makes a tackle so ruthless that Simeone congratulates him for it, and a fan sprints onto the pitch and sucker punches Jack Grealish right in the head. Before we get to those, however, we have to see two Levante players who tried to sandwich a legend's face. In their desperation to stop Ronaldo, two Levante players came together to form what can only be described as a sandwich of death. But what looked like a simple tackle quickly turned into one of the most brutal tackles ever. Blood rushing out of Ronaldo's eye like that was genuinely terrifying, and if that injury had been handled poorly, he could have lost his sight. But while Ronaldo took an accidental hit, the next foul was a calculated, brutal tackle. It's the Spanish Super Cup final, Atletico versus Real Madrid. The game had been cagey throughout, but with 6 minutes left, Alvaro Morata was put clean through on goal. This moment could change everything, and Federico Valverde sees the danger and decides to do the unthinkable.
C'est justement ce genre d'action peut-être pour aller jusqu'au bout. Quelle faute! Ouais, ça va être le carton rouge bien là qui vient ensuite le chauffer un petit peu, le chambrer.
Chaos erupts, but one man stays eerily calm. Diego Simeone, the Atletico coach, walks over to Valverde and congratulates him on the tackle. Can you imagine? Madrid went on to win the trophy, and Valverde won the Man of the Match award. But professional fouls are one thing. What happened at number 8 wasn't even football anymore. Aston Villa travel across the city to face Birmingham in the Championship, and if you know anything about this rivalry, you know it's always toxic. But while the chaos mostly stays on the pitch, just watch what happens next. I'm already clenching my fists just watching this. But unlike me, Grealish kept his composure. And deep in the second half, he picked the ball up in the Birmingham half, drove at the defense, and unleashed a strike that silenced every single person in that stadium.
On it goes. Yes, there is.
Hands down, the coldest revenge in football.
Yeah, you know, I was just unaware at the time. Obviously, I was walking into position and then I just felt a whack around the side of the face. Obviously, I don't, you know, there's rivalry and stuff in football, but I don't think there's any place for that, really.
But while Grealish got punched by a fan, the next player got sent off for defending himself against one. Daniel Catano of Millonarios is doing his pre-match warm-up, just stretching, getting loose, when suddenly a supporter charges onto the pitch and goes straight at him. Catano reacts and defends himself, but the referee then decides to send Catano off before the game has even started. Football sometimes makes absolutely no sense. But if you want something that makes even less sense, wait till you see what they did to one of the most beloved players who ever lived. Towards the end of his legendary career, Ronaldinho went back to his native Brazil to give the fans one more taste of the magic. But instead of a hero's welcome, all he got was this. Watching the replay is genuinely uncomfortable, and Ronaldinho was incredibly lucky to walk away without a broken leg. And with that, we've made it to our top 5. And I need you to brace yourself because these fouls are about to get really disturbing. I'm talking about a goalkeeper getting his skull fractured so badly that his teammates filed a criminal complaint. And a tackle so innocent, it turned into one of the most heartbreaking moments in Premier League history. But first, let's start with a player who almost blinded Lionel Messi. In a match between Athletic Bilbao and Barcelona, Messi was chasing down a loose ball, only for the defender to make one of the most reckless tackles you'll ever see. People lose their eyesight from things less violent than that. But if you think that was bad, the next entry makes it look like a friendly pat. It's the South American World Cup qualifiers. Brazil are cruising 4-0 against Bolivia, and the game is effectively over. But when Neymar tries to take his man on, the defender does this.
Press swing with talent, was we a little fortunate to get away with that.
The defender doesn't even pretend to go for the ball. He comes in elbows high, spinning like a UFC fighter. And speaking of moments where football stopped being football, our next player planned his revenge for 4 years. Years earlier, Materazzi had put in a brutal foul that left Zlatan unable to walk. But if you know Zlatan, you already know he wasn't going to let things slide. 4 years later, the Milan Derby, Zlatan versus Materazzi again. Zlatan wins a penalty after yet another foul from Materazzi. You would think that was revenge enough, but in the second half, the two rush in to contest the ball, and Zlatan unleashes a full taekwondo kick that sends Materazzi straight to the hospital. When asked why he did it, he said, "I've been waiting for this moment for 4 years. That's why." 4 years of patience, 4 years of remembering that pain, all for one moment of cold, calculated payback. But if Zlatan's patience was scary, what comes at number 2 is pure unfiltered brutality. With 6 minutes left in the match between Rangers and Slavia Prague, Kemar Roof is brought on to try and score a goal. But instead of doing that, he does this.
Good weight on that, goalkeeper commits. And Roof has fouled the goalkeeper, who's taken a heavy knock there. Kemar Roof saying he didn't see where the goalkeeper was coming. Red card! Straight red card for Kemar Roof was at his eyes.
This gets worse with every single replay. The goalkeeper suffered a massive gash across his forehead, a fractured skull, and had to wear a protective mask for weeks afterwards. But that's not all. After the match, Slavia Prague were so furious they filed a criminal complaint against Roof through their embassy because they wanted actual legal consequences. And honestly, when you see the footage, when you see the damage, maybe it wasn't excessive at all. But while Roof's foul was violent, what makes number 1 so devastating is that the player who caused it never meant to hurt anyone. In a match between Tottenham and Everton, Son goes in for a challenge. It's slightly mistimed, nothing malicious about it at all. But the way Andre Gomez's ankle buckles on the landing turns this into an absolute nightmare. The stadium goes dead silent. Players are frantically waving medics on with genuine panic in their eyes. Some can't even look. And Son, the man who made the tackle, is completely shattered, tears pouring down his face, unable to process what just happened. He didn't mean it. Everyone in that stadium knew he didn't mean it, but the damage was already done. And in his next game, Son scored 2 goals and refused to celebrate either of them out of respect.
I didn't want to celebrate because I just want to respect those situations, and of course I still feel really, really sorry about this situation, and it's been really, really tough days, tough few days, and I said before, I realize how lucky I am. The people around me, the supporters, the club, and the coaching staff, the players, teammates, they helped me really, really a lot and give me so much strong message. And of course, I wish still Andre Gomez get well soon and best wish. And yeah, but it's the right answer to keep working hard for me and try to perform like always and with positive energy. I think this is most important.
This is one of the most heartbreaking moments in Premier League history, and a reminder that sometimes the worst injuries come from the most innocent challenges. But while these players were fighting for their lives on the pitch, referees were busy making decisions so bad, they'll make you question whether they even watch football. I'm talking about a player getting 2 yellow cards in 10 seconds just for talking, and Ronaldo kicking someone in the chest on live television and walking away with just a yellow. Click on the next video to see the 25 most shocking referee mistakes in football history.